Hey guys, hope everything is going well. Just thought I'd wrap up my coangler corner section, a series with my last one. This one's going to be a story about, or a conversation piece about coanglers or no coanglers. And you know, this is a hard topic for me because I've always wanted to be a professional angler, but I knew fishing just, Grand Lake, Stockton, and Table Rock, that I had a lot to learn. So I did start out my I'll say career on the coangler side. And what I mean by career, when I just decided to go all in and really make a go at this. So here we go. Coanglers or no coanglers? Why should we have coanglers? One, before technology was around, there was no way to record the day to keep people in check. So coanglers were greatly needed. Plus, being a coangler, you got to learn from guys that were probably better than you were. Unless you've just been a coangler your whole life, then, but I'm sure that everybody has learned from their partners, one way or the other, something throughout the day and made you a better angler in the end. And that was my goal as a coangler, was to learn from the guys that I fished with. Every day, go out there and try to learn as much as you can, because let's face it, in northeastern Oklahoma and all around the Ozarks, there's no grass fishing. There's no milfoil. There's no hydrilla. There's none of that. It's just rock, mud, sand, gravel, etc. There's no grass. And so I was pretty way worse than green. I'd never seen grass. I knew it was out there, but I'd never seen it, fished it, never knew how to fish it, even though I've read some articles on it. I never really did understand how to do it until I did it. So I do think, for if you're coming into this and you want to learn, which I think is the biggest and best thing that you could do, that's how you should approach being a coangler, is you're trying to learn everything you can. Even if you fish that body of water for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, have the mindset that you're trying to learn. You're there to learn. Catching fish is just a bonus. Yes, we want you to catch fish, but catching fish is just a bonus. So if you have that mindset, it's a lot better. Number two, I always tried. There's always those guys that are what I would consider professional coanglers. That's all they're going to be as a coangler. They have no desire to move up the front. They're always there to see how many tournaments they can win by fishing from the back. And let's just be honest. There's very few people that can be not only successful up front, or in the back of the boat, but win tournaments consistently out of the back of the boat. It just doesn't happen. Yes, you can be successful out of the back of the boat, but you can't win every tournament out of the boat. If you fished out of the front, yes, you have some say-so on where you're going. Other than that, it's just luck of the draw on where you're going. Yeah, you're going to catch some fish here, you're going to catch some fish there, but overall, it's a little bit more difficult than just that. Okay, so should we have coanglers? I'm still, to this day, I don't know. I think that in the top tier, and I'm talking about the FLW events and the bass events, there should not be coanglers. Now, if you're fishing what I would consider a AAA circuit, like the Opens, or what they used to call the Coastas, I'm not even sure what they're calling them nowadays. the Costas or the Everstarts or whatever name they have them for them. Yeah, I think there should be coanglers. You're going to get a good mix of guys that are professional, some that are what I would consider AAA anglers, some local sticks, and others looking to proceed to go to the next level. Absolutely, there should be coanglers there, but we still got to have the etiquette as a coangler, that we're not interfering. And that's what I always feared the most was, I fished the 2 years that I fished on the FLW tour that we could qualify for the FLW tour. I qualified twice. And I always felt just a little bit out of place as a coangler because, let's face it, at that time, I wasn't making money on sponsors as a coangler. But the guys that were there, they've been forking out $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to go fishing, and I was forking out what, $600, $700, $800? There's a big difference. And if you win a tournament, not alone the championship, but you win a tournament that's $100,000. You win the championship, that was $1 million at one point, and now it's $500,000, and now they've cut it back to $300,000. But still, that's way more money than what a coangler would make. Okay, so I'm not saying that they should be put on a high horse, but I always felt that I was somewhat interfering with their tournament. Let's give you an example of what I mean by interfering. So I never wanted to be the guy that would negatively or positively impact a tournament and its I don't want to say standings, but it's end of day standings. I didn't want to be that guy. So what do I mean by a positive deal? Impact it positively. So let's say, for instance, I was fishing at Okeechobee with David Fritz one time, and I had a black Cinco, and he was throwing a green pumpkin Cinco. And lo and behold, in the first hour, I'd caught 7 fish, and he hadn't even had a bite. And we several times threw in the same grass patch that each other was fishing. And for some reason, they just wanted the black Cinco that day. They wanted a dark worm. And I remember David Fritz getting in the bottom boat and saying out loud, I don't know if he was saying it to me or what, but he said, man, I thought I had some of them dark-colored worms, as he's digging through his tackle. And me being the nice guy that I am, it was just a tournament, the first tournament of the year. I reached in my bag, threw out a handful of black worms because I had the bulk bag because I knew they were biting it. So I grabbed those worms, threw them up on the deck, and he had them for the rest of the day. Now, I positively impacted his day. Would he have caught more fish? Maybe. He did end up catching a few on a crankbait and stuff like that, so he did upgrade his catch. But did I impact that tournament? Did I change the results of that tournament? I don't know. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Maybe he was going to catch those crankbait fish later, and then he would have, do whatever. But I don't know if he would have caught those fish if he hadn't. And I know he wouldn't have caught them as fast as he did as soon as I gave him a Cinco, because the next 6 casts he had a limit. So it's all just a matter of I didn't want to impact the end results. So let's think of it a negative way. Okay, so we're fishing, your partner needs a net, you go to net the fish, and for whatever reason, fish jumps and you don't catch it with the net and it gets off and goes in the water. And now he lost that fish. Maybe it was a 5-pounder. Maybe it was just a pounder. Whatever. It was a keeper and you missed that fish. You have negatively impacted that fish. Would that fish got off if he was trying to net it? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe he wouldn't have been horsing it as much. Maybe he would have, not reacted in the way. So the way that he did. So he may have, babied the fish a little bit more and got it in the net himself. So I never wanted. I always felt a little bit out of place that I didn't want to negatively or positively impact. Because let's face it, David Fritz, he got those fish in the boat. Okay, that moved him up the leaderboard. But what about that guy that was sitting at check range? Now he just bumped down a guy, and I just cost him the chance of cashing a check. And so after that day, I was like, man, this really is kind of weighing on me. I didn't know what to do, and the more and more I think about it, it's really, gone both ways on me. Because I don't want to impact a tournament. I want it to be fair playing field. If you didn't bring the right gear that day, then that's your fault. If you can run the ramp and grab it out of your truck and then get back on the water, that's fine. But I didn't want to be the guy that would impact the tournament. I never wanted to be like that. I always wanted to make good friends and on and off the water, and not impact a tournament where 100,000 can impact your life, but 500,000 can change your life. Not only money wise, but sponsorship wise, and for the future of your career. So I never wanted to be that guy to cost somebody or to make it or not to make it, and one guy to and not. I mean, that's just I'm a purist at heart for the sport, and I just I didn't know. So give me your thoughts. Do you think coanglers should still be in pro-am tournaments? And then if you do, what level do you think that they should be? Should they stop at the BFL level? Should they stop at the Open and Costa level? Or do you think they should be in the top tier pro level? Because honestly, I look at it both ways. That's how I came up. That's how I learned from all these guys. But I like I said, I had a real problem at times with it because I just felt a little bit out of place. So let me know your thoughts on it. Stay safe. I'll see you on the water when I return.